Hi and welcome back to Joe Talks Cars. Welcome to another video. Welcome back to my really annoying Cayman S. Regular viewers of this channel will know that this car recently suffered with bore scoring. It had to have a full engine rebuild not long after purchasing the car, and since then it's been absolutely fine. That is until today. Weirdly, today marks the very first anniversary of my new engine, so it's 1 year ago since I picked this car up from Leeds. I've had no issues with the car at all. We had a few issues at the start to do with a little sensor which needed replacing, and that was all. And then today, that fault re-emerged. So this car has a really strange fault. A fault with what I think is a temperature sensor. During the summer and the warm weather, this car was absolutely fine. It used to warm up perfectly. No warning lights, no funny starts. It was perfect, honestly. Nothing went wrong. The minute the temperature dropped below, from what I can gather, about 11 degrees, the car then developed this fault again. So what happens is when you start it up on a morning, the temperature is obviously, the gauge is right at the bottom. It will then slowly creep up, ever so slightly, a lot slower than you would ever imagine it would. It doesn't quite get to halfway, and then it fails altogether. So it drops down to the bottom, you get the red flashing light in the corner, and then eventually the engine management light comes on. I've run a fault on the codes, and it just comes back saying it's a coolant fault. There's plenty of coolant in the car. I don't believe there's any airlocks. And like I said, this car didn't do it in the summer. So let's be honest, this is quite a strange fault. Something that only gets affected when the temperature's cold. It's almost as though the car is running too cold, and when it can't quite reach its temperature, it just gives up altogether because it's getting a false reading. But either way, I'm not entirely sure. It's just a shame that it's happened on the anniversary of getting this car back. So I think all that is left to do now is get this car into a garage, and where I'm going to be taking it is slightly different to what I've done in the past. It had its engine rebuild at Strasza, and I take it to my local garage called Arch Garage. Both very reputable firms. But I recently did a Porsche drive out, which took me to RPM Specialist Cars, and I think that is where I'm going to try out. It'll be a nice little drive out to Knaresborough, and we'll be able to find out what has happened to this. Here's hoping it won't be too expensive and it's going to be an easy fix and something that's going to stop me hating the car. I think what this does is highlight one of the reasons why, when rebuilding a car's engine and having loads and loads of money spent on it, does not guarantee that it's not going to cost any more. I naively thought, once this engine's rebuilt, and I've had the suspension done very recently, that is going to be it. This car's probably going to run for the next 10 years. But how wrong was I? Things keep cropping up and keep winding me up about this car. Nothing will ever stop me loving this car, and really, I still don't believe there's a car out there that compares to this. This car will always be throwing big bills at me, and it's something I'm going to have to get used to. And if you're thinking about buying one of these, have your wallet handy. These cars are extremely expensive. Don't let that low price make you think otherwise. I also just want to say, again, a massive thank you to everyone that's hit that subscribe button. It really has made a difference to the channel. It allows me to keep making videos like this, and it allows me to keep putting money into this car and keeping it on the road. This channel is now monetized, and through all of your watch time and all of the engagement you've had with me, it's really, really helped. And I just want to say a massive thank you for that. Please make sure, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, because there's so much more content with this car coming. Not only will be repairs, but also modifications, and maybe even a wrap. So make sure, if you're interested in watching all of that, you hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss any of this. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope it's given you a little bit more of an insight to what it's like to live with an old Cayman. Endless bills, but lots of excitement. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.